Hey my loves, it's your girl Strike back on the Get a Gaming channel, and today I'm going to be introducing my new Let's Play series, Life Tragedies. So let's meet the Leones. So the Leone family legacy has deep roots in the mafia. Now the great grandparents of the Leones were heavily involved in the mafia, but life was terrible. Life wasn't great for them. So Mateo's grandfather ran away with his girlfriend, soon to be wife, in search of a better life. And there he changed his surname to the Leone, so his family couldn't find him. Now, at first, they began legitimate careers working towards their goal of being independent and rich, but they were still very far off. Now, Mateo's grandmother was a hairdresser who started to become very respected in the community, and his grandfather was a factory worker, but he also would be a handyman, and he would also do anything he could to get his hands on money to provide for his family. Now, not too long after they had run away, Mateo's grandmother fell pregnant with twins, Mateo's father, who's called Alessandro, and his aunt Antonella. Now, having a baby at a young age is definitely a struggle. Now add on having no family, no one to help you take care of your baby, being poor, and being a runaway on top of that. So life was literally the worst for Mateo's grandmother and grandfather. They struggled to make two ends meet together. So, despite his feelings on the mafia, Mateo's grandfather became a dealer to help pay the bills. Now, he would do this on the side whilst being a factory worker, but eventually he started to see that he was actually very good with this. He was extremely good with getting the money that he needed, and he quickly began to scale up in the mafia world, and eventually he became the Don. Now, this allowed his family of 12, now you guys are probably thinking, family of 12? Yes, they were busy, to live a life of luxury. Not just a simple life, but a life where they could have anything they wanted and anything they needed. Because Mateo's grandfather, he saw what his parents went through being in the mafia. Their life was always in danger, but also they weren't very high up in the mafia either, so they were still extremely quite poor. So he said to himself, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to be the best at it. Now, although he enjoyed the rush of the mafia life, his wife wanted him to leave and turn legit. Now, Mateo's grandfather started to be filled with greed. He wanted to get more money. The fear of becoming poor was greater than his fear of losing his life, the fear of losing his family. And yes, he put the certain precautions in place to keep his family safe, but as you know, in the mafia, it's still quite hard to guarantee safety. Now, as a teen, Mateo's father Alessandro met this beautiful Italian woman called Allegra whilst helping his father on a business trip in Willow Creek. Now, they immediately fell in love and they eloped and conceived Mateo. And soon, Alessandro moved to Willow Creek. Now, at first, the family were furious. Now, the reason for this was because they had done everything so quickly. They wanted to have a big wedding for Alessandro. They wanted to have a big baby shower, but he just went and eloped. He went and had his son, and he did everything quite informally. And everyone was quite disappointed because he is the firstborn male child. Although the family wanted to hate Allegra for changing their son and allowing their son to ditch their traditions and elope and marry her, they couldn't hate her at all because Allegra was such a beautiful person physically, and also her soul and her spirit was just so refreshing. She literally lit up the room and was helpful and loving and cared for every single person, from the maids to the workers to the people in their family. She loved everyone as equals and she saw them for who they were. Now, one day they had left Mateo at the grandparents' house whilst they sorted stuff out in Willow Creek. Now, on their way to Oasis Springs, a rival gang spotted Alessandro. And when they stopped for a toilet break, both Alessandro and Allegra were brutally murdered. Now, this was a wake-up call Mateo's grandfather needed to properly go legit to protect his family. It took a while for his grandmother to forgive him because, after all, she had been trying to convince him to give up the mafia life and go legit. And it only took for her firstborn son to die for him to finally quit the mafia and go legit. Now, Mateo was raised by his grandfather and grandmother, with all his aunts and uncles in the mansion. Now, Mateo was definitely the most spoiled and adored child. Now, this could have been because of guilt, because of his parents being killed, or it could have been because he was just so cute and pleasant to be around, but we will never know. Now, whilst in the mansion, he became extremely close to this maid. His grandparents had business to deal with, and his aunts and uncles were unavailable to play. He would always be with this maid. This maid kind of became his surrogate mother, if you'd like to say that. Now, one day, she brought her niece Valentina to work with her, and Mateo fell head over heels for Valentina. Now, the whole family did not mind at first. They thought, oh, this is just going to be a silly fling and that is all. But when Mateo wanted to take things seriously with Valentina, it started to cause a ruckus in the family, a major stir. Now, this is because they still are a traditional Italian family. Now, since Mateo was the first grandchild and he was also a male, they wanted him to carry on the family legacy and marry an Italian. Now, the reason why this is a big issue is because Valentina is Mexican, but also she's a complete different class. So it's kind of understandable how they were a little bit skeptical about Valentina, because they thought maybe Valentina is using him to get her family out of poverty. Now, the family agreed that it was okay for Mateo to mess around with Valentina, but he couldn't take it anywhere further than that. So, Mateo and Valentina were in a secret relationship. Whilst being in this relationship, Mateo's grandmother arranged for Mateo to get married to a beautiful Italian woman to continue their legacy on. Now, during this process, Mateo actually began to realize that his feelings for Valentina weren't really there, and he should have probably listened to his family. So, as his grandmother began to plan the wedding and began to put together the arrangements for him to marry this beautiful Italian woman, he did not see this as a con, because he thought maybe this would be his way out of a relationship with Valentina without it getting too messy. Now, during the preparations for this wedding, Valentina found out she was pregnant with twins, Antonio and Anna. Now, this caused another major stir within the family, because they would be the first great-grandchildren. They were also boys as well, but once again, they wouldn't be fully Italian. They would be half Mexican, and they also didn't want the boys to be born as children, especially since they would be the first great-grandchild of the Leone family. There were also a lot of talk between the aunts and uncles, because no one was sure what the twins would look like, because Valentina was on the darker side, whilst obviously all of them are Italian looking. Now, Mateo's grandfather, being the head of the family, he silenced everyone and made sure Valentina felt a part of the family. He may have wanted Mateo to fall in love with an Italian woman, but he understood that love conquers all, because he ran away with his wife. There are a few reasons why Mateo never divorced Valentina. Now, these reasons are that divorce is very much looked down in their family. No one gets divorced. Family is forever. Marriage is till death do us part. Or that's what their grandfather taught them anyway. He also wanted to have control on what his boys were learning, the environments that his boys were in. Although Valentina came from nothing and Mateo has the money, so he wasn't that fearful of losing custody of his sons. But also the biggest reason why he did not divorce Valentina is because Valentina had become his grandfather's favorite, and he was scared that his grandfather would disown him. Well, that was until Mateo's grandfather passed away. Now, will the Leone family make it, or was the grandfather the last obstacle standing in Mateo's way? Well, welcome to Life Tragedies. Guys, I am so excited for this Let's Play. It's so juicy. The inspiration that I got for this Let's Play came from this online book that I was reading. I think it's called When There's Nothing Left But Love, but it's very loosely based off it. Guys, I'm going to have life tragedies, autonomous life tragedies on in this Let's Play, but I'm so excited. I honestly don't know where this Let's Play is going, but let's see if the Leone family will be able to stay together or what is going on, guys. We do not know. I honestly can't wait to start playing with this family. I will see you guys soon. There's so many dynamics to play on, and also I made sure that Valentina and Mateo have complete opposite traits, guys. So honestly, we don't know what is gonna go down, but anyway, thank you guys for listening. I will see you guys next time. Bye.